Hello, very big hello to my friends. My name is Amanda and welcome to the next block tutorial in my house block Quilt-Along. In today's tutorial we will be making this lovely block here. I'm calling this two of the same because we have two lovely long houses that are the same but slightly different in their colour ways. Now I absolutely love this block. I love how streamlined and neat and lovely it is. I also love that I chose to use just the one background color to make the houses really pop. When it comes to making your block, you're more than welcome to do two colors like me or make them exactly the same colors. Go crazy with the type of roofs that you want. I know that a lot of people have been having lots of fun with using lots of different patterns and prints, so the freedom of choice to make this block in any way that you wish is really there, and I cannot wait to see what people do. As always with all of my block tutorials, you will find the pattern linked below in the description box. It is a free download for you to download and print out and follow along with. There's also a colouring page that you can colour in and use to help design your finished block. So let's move right along and learn how to make the two of the same house block. To begin, cut out all of the pieces for this block following the cutting and measurement instructions in the pattern linked below. Start by laying out one door piece, one small roof rectangle and the two small squares belonging to the first house colour. Pop the door section to one side and then with a pencil and ruler mark a diagonal line through the middle of each of the two small squares. Place one square on top of the roof rectangle with the marked line travelling from the centre to the left hand corner. Evenly pin together and then carefully stitch on top of the pencil line at the sewing machine. Trim away the excess corner to a 1/4 inch seam allowance and then gently press the triangle open with a hot steamy iron. Repeat these steps again to sew on the other small square to the roof rectangle, creating a sweet little mini flying geese unit. Next, place this unit along the top edge of the door piece. Turn it over and pin it evenly into place. Stitch the pieces together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance and then press the seam towards the door section. With the door section placed to one side, lay out the window square and the two smaller house rectangles along the top and bottom edges. Turn over and pin the top rectangle to the window square and then do the same with the other rectangle piece. At the sewing machine, sew a 1/4 inch stitch along one pinned edge first. Then turn the unit around and do the same thing along the other side. And then press both of these seams inwards towards the window square. Place the pieced window section above the pieced door section. Flip one over onto the other and evenly pin the sections together. Sew a 1/4 inch seam along this edge and then press the seam upwards towards the window section. Lay out the two long rectangle house pieces on either side of the pieced door and window unit. Turn one side over and pin it evenly into place, and then do the same with the other side. Stitch a 1/4 inch seam down one pinned edge, turn it around and sew again along the other side. Then press each seam outwards away from the centre of the unit. After following the same steps to make the second house, place one next to the other and with the long, wider background rectangle placed in the centre. Flip the background rectangle onto the house to the left and pin the edges evenly together. Carefully sew a 1/4 inch along this edge and then press the seam inwards towards the house unit. Turn the second house over, align the edges with the centre background rectangle and then pin into place. Sew your 1/4 inch seam just like last time and then press the seam towards the second house unit. Next, place the two long thinner background rectangles on either side of the pieced sections. Turn each one over and pin them evenly together. Sew a 1/4 inch seam along one edge and then another down the other side. Press each of these seams inwards towards the center of the block and then give the first half of the block a good press too. Moving on, to make a roof unit, lay out one of the larger roof rectangles with 2 of the background squares. Mark a diagonal line down the center of each square with a pencil and ruler, and then evenly place one on top of the roof rectangle, with the marked line traveling from the center to the left-hand corner. After pinning the pieces evenly together, stitch along the top of the line with the sewing machine. Trim away the excess corner, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then press the seam outwards towards the triangle corner. And then repeat the same steps to complete the other side of the roof unit. Once you've made 2 flying geese roof units, turn one over onto the other and pin evenly together. Sew a 1/4 inch seam and then press the seam open to reduce bulk in the next and last seam that needs to be sewn. Lay the roof section out along the top edge of the house section. Fold the house section in half and make a small crease at the top to mark its center. Line up this crease with the middle seam on the roof section, centering the 2 sections together. Pin the edges into place and then sew one last 1/4 inch seam along this side, and then press the seam upwards away from the center of the block. Lastly, using a set square ruler and blade, trim the finished block to a neat and perfect 12.5 inch square. Now, as always, if you have any questions about this block or the House Block Quilt-Along in general, then yeah, please pop it down in the comments below. You never know, someone else might have the same question as you and may be able to help you as well. So with our 3rd block into the series, I hope you guys are enjoying making these lovely house blocks. I have absolutely loved making the tutorials. It's been a long time since I've done block tutorials like this, and yeah, I'm just realizing how much I love making them. So I do hope that you are enjoying watching and making along. So the next block in the series will be block 4, and I will do my very best to get that out to you as soon as I can. It's a fun one. I actually can't remember which one it is, but I'm sure it's going to be good. So as always, my friends, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you sometime very, very soon. Bye bye.